Hello, ladies, everyone that's watching this. I'm here with Amy Pamensky, and she's a graduate of Creatrix Calling, and she's a rock star. She had great success in the course, and she devoted so much of herself to the process. So I'm really excited to be with her today and just ask her some questions about her experience. And you may be thinking about if Creatrix Calling is right for you. And I just feel like bringing these conversations and full transparency to the table so you can really hear a woman's experience will help you in your decision-making process and help you understand more what happens inside of Creatrix Calling. So welcome, Amy. Thanks so much for being here. Would you just start by introducing yourself and the program, the product that you created inside of Creatrix Calling?
Sure, of course. So hi, everyone. I am Amy Pamensky, and I am known as the spiritual nutritionist. And in Creatrix Calling, I created $16,500 worth of one-to-one client coaching. So really celebrating that and excited that during the course of the program, I was able to raise my prices for one-to-one coaching as well.
Awesome, dear. Thank you so much. And then, so $16,500, which is incredible. And then what was the program that you created? Like, what is it that you offer women in the world?
Yeah, so I do offer some group coaching. The primary focus that I have right now is a 3-month process called Fully Nourished, and I do that both group coaching and one-to-one. So what that includes is 1 month where we focus on nourishing the body, so really providing the body with the nutrients that it needs in order to be aligned with our highest self. So really creating a healthy relationship with food and providing the body with the nutrients that it needs in order to thrive. The second part of that program is Nourish Your Mind, and that's all about mindset. So what are the conversations that we're having with ourselves on a daily basis? How do we talk to ourselves? How do we relate to the outside world? And that really goes into like self-sabotage, willpower, all the things that come up with food and weight loss and dieting, etc. And then the third part is follow your heart. So really aligning with your highest self and really seeing what lights you up, and in connecting with your body and with nourishing your mind. Once we're in that place, we can really create anything from that space. So follow your heart is really about creating a life that you love and coming from a place of mind-body alignment so that you can really take that leap in your life, whether it's, getting to a healthy relationship or starting your new business or, calling in sisterhood, whatever it is really bringing more things into your life that you enjoy doing.
So amazing. One of my favorite things is hearing a woman talk so clearly about her offering in the world. And you already had a business coming into Creatrix Calling, but then just taking it to the next level and having the biggest launch of your career and having price points that are just all new for you is just amazing to watch. I also remember, Amy, just our first conversations, and you had just come off of like feeling really disappointed in your business. And I can relate to this too, of like putting together like a huge launch plan and going for the internet marketing route and like really complicated marketing strategies. And so can you just speak a little bit about where you were before Creatrix Calling, and then what had you actually choose to invest in yourself with this program?
Yeah, I remember that conversation really clearly too. And prior to Creatrix Calling, I had invested in a program to support, we're in a mastermind, a year-long mastermind to support me with creating an online funnel. And that's kind of what I saw, the trend in the industry. I kind of saw it, maybe it was like this big shiny object that I was like, oh, that's what I should be doing if I really want to grow my business. And like, that's what I have to do. So I invested a lot of money into a coaching program that actually ended up failing for my business, or it didn't work for my business based on where I was at in my business. And I was really disappointed. It was my biggest investment that I had ever made in my business, and also my biggest failure that I've had in my business, in that it just didn't create an ROI, return on investment. And it was really frustrating, discouraging. I was like, well, if that didn't work, then like, what is going to work? Like I just felt, and it felt really out of alignment for me. It didn't feel like it was my truth. It didn't feel like I was doing marketing that felt good it didn't feel genuine and authentic for me. And so it really put me like pretty much a year of my business. I was so focused in like launching online and becoming this big online thing, doing Facebook ads and webinars and all this stuff. And every time I would sit down to do that, it didn't feel good. So that's where I was when I started. I was really discouraged. I was really afraid to invest in anything else because, as you guys know, if you put a big investment and it doesn't pan out, like it's like, oh shit, like, is it even worth it to invest in a coach, or am I even going to be able to show up for this next coaching opportunity based on where I'm at? So when I hopped on the phone with you, Jolie, it was like such a relief to have someone feel that, understand that, and also to see me in my greatness, like to really see what was possible for me, to see a vision for me, and to offer a solution that did feel really authentic and genuine for me. And more going back to kind of some grassroots marketing, grassroots of connecting with my community, connecting with my target audience.
Mm-hmm. Was it scary for you to reinvest in yourself after an investment didn't work? And like, what were you faced with when you chose to invest in Creatrix Calling?
Yeah. I mean, I was like, I feel like I just threw like all this money and it didn't work. So it's like, why, like logically, it makes no sense for me to invest in another program. Like if you're like, I think that was the biggest thing. It was like, my heart was so clear and I totally knew that this is what my business and myself, like what felt right to me next. And I knew that if it was aligned with my heart, that like it would work out. And that's like really getting out of that scarcity conversation. I could have easily been like, well, I just can't invest right now. But it was really hard. It was a really big heart decision for me. So because the vision was so clear on what we were going to do together, and because the vision was so clear of what you had done with some of the other coaches that I knew had done your program, other women business owners who had gone through your program, the vision was greater than the fear for me. It was like, all right, I see so clearly where this can go. And I believe in myself and I believe in you and Jolie, that it was like, that was greater than the fear. And if I had let like my mind get in the way of being like, oh, this doesn't add up, like it doesn't actually make sense, then I probably wouldn't have been able to invest in the program.
Thanks, Amy. I know a lot of people are facing that. Like they've had bad coaching experiences and what they thought was going to happen didn't happen. So it takes a tremendous amount of trust to believe in something again. So I appreciate you so much coming through and just continually showing up for yourself. And what I'd love to hear you reflect on is, what part of the course did you feel like really worked for you when it came to attracting clients and converting clients? So which of the modules really stuck out to you, and which of the teachings and the core energetic teachings really made a difference in your business?
I would say the frequency alignment, the energy alignment was huge for me. So you have an amazing meditation, client attraction, visualization of some sort, and really getting in the frequency of calling in the soul clients that I knew were out there. And that was really huge for me to do every day. Having that frequency alignment was really big for me. The other one was the creative launch strategy. That was really amazing because it allowed me to step into something. It wasn't like you were like, okay, you have to do this one strategy and this is the only strategy that works, which was my experience with other coaches. It was like, oh, we're not cookie cutter, but it kind of was cookie cutter in a way. It was like, well, here's the formula. And what I loved was that you presented one, like the slow sales process, which was great. And it allowed me to connect with, new clients. And that was amazing. But when that part was, moving out of that to then being like, okay, here are some other strategies that you can try on and what feels good to you. And allowing me to step into those strategies that were so clear and simple, and like there was enough structure, yet there was enough space for me to step into it. That felt really exciting and empowering for me.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to help women do, is just like use that muscle of creativity and innovation. And I loved you coming to the call and be like, wow, my Facebook challenge really worked. And this is how many people participated. And we're all like, whoa, show us how to do that. So there's definitely the culture of find what works for you. And if video is your thing, great. And if email is your thing, awesome. But like finding that thing that is uniquely yours instead of just being a one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say like actually clicked for you in the program where you started seeing yes and some results happen? Like what was the main turning point and how would you describe that?
Well, one thing that was really powerful that I haven't really mentioned is the other women in the program that did Creatrix calling with me was just like seeing their gifts and like how incredibly they were showing up was really inspiring for me. And um, that was really something that kept motivating me to continue going and to want to show up even bigger. A turning point, I think, over the entire process was that I finally saw myself as a creator, which I've never seen myself in that way before. I've always followed what coaches told me to do or followed what I thought I should do or what everyone else was doing. And this is the first time where I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to what feels good and what inspiration comes through, and I'm going to take action on it. And so becoming a creator in my own business and starting to know that like, I don't have to follow a formula, but like I can listen to my intuition and listen to what comes through and move from that. And when I do that, that's what sets me apart. It's not following the formula of what other people are doing. So like I've seen other people do Facebook challenges, but I wasn't going into other Facebook groups to see what they were doing for a challenge. It was like, oh, this is what I want to do for my challenge. And it felt really good and it worked. And then same with like the interview series that I did. I was like, oh, who would I like to interview on my interview series, and interviewing some incredibly inspiring women and going for it and doing it was like, oh, it doesn't have to look a certain way. Like I can do it the way that feels good for me.
Incredible. It's just, that's what it's about. It's about being compelling and setting yourself apart by doing what's natural to you. And you did that so beautifully. So the last thing here is to the woman who's considering if Creatrix calling is the right move for her and she's deliberating on it and she's considering it, what would you say to her?
I would say that one of Jolie's greatest gifts is seeing you in your greatness and like seeing a vision that's like far greater than what you see for yourself, and to be with someone who sees that and then holds you to that and doesn't let you get caught up in like the story conversation or in the like I'm not good enough conversation. Like we'll hold space for that and allow you to be that, but also not like go down to that level and allow you to stay there. Like I think that allowed me, who I became in Creatrix calling was worth every penny of it. Like I will never be able to go back to the business owner that I was before. And I will also say the way that Jolie shows up as a really powerful coach, it's inspiring to show me how I can show up as a really powerful coach. So I think there's a lot of modeling that can be done based on the way that Jolie ran Creatrix calling. Like you can use that as part of your program, but also like there's no value that you can put on who you become as a business owner or like that next level of transformation as a business owner. Like you can't really put a number on that. And in a lot of the programs that I had done before, I had changed the business strategy, or I changed like what I was doing. So I went from doing, I don't know, like going to from in-person marketing to online marketing. I changed the business strategy, but I didn't change who I became. And when you just keep changing the strategy, but you don't become something different, it doesn't last. It's not something that can like keep you going for longer. So I think the mindset, the frequency work, the becoming, stepping into an empowered business owner and empowered in my own gifts, like that is what I would say is available to anyone who does Creatrix calling.
Thanks, Amy, so much. I love that this is what I get to do with my life, is see powerful, potent women like you and just help you realize a dream. And like, this is so just the beginning in so many ways. And what you're going to create from here is just so big because you're just so true to yourself. And I just really want to acknowledge you for how much you put into this course and every market research call and every Facebook Live interview, and everything that you created is paid off big time. And you are such a contribution to the whole. So thank you for all your kind words. Thank you for sharing your experience with the future students of Creatrix Calling. And I appreciate you so much for being here, love. Thanks for doing this with me.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And I appreciate you and super grateful for you.
Thanks, love. Bye, everyone that's watching. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.